Good morning, my dear students. We have completed one part of the English grammar, that is, the usages of three tenses. We have completed the usages of present tense, past tense, and the future tense. I hope you are clear with all those notes that I have given to you. Now, we move on to a second part of the grammar, that is, the agreement between subject and the verb. This is an important topic which you must be very clear with. So what do you mean by the subject-verb agreement? How do you define the subject-verb agreement? Let's go through the definition of a subject-verb agreement. In simple terms, it means that subject and verb must agree in number. Once again, subject and verb must agree in number. Let's go through an example here. The first example says, they plays football. And you know, this is an incorrect sentence. The reason is that the verb called plays does not agree with the subject called they. The reason is that the subject is plural, so the verb has to be plural, which means we do not add the word called, we do not add the letter s to the verb. So the sentence is incorrect. Take another example, they play football. The sentence is correct. The reason is that the verb play is agreeing with the subject called they, which is a plural subject. So once again, the definition of subject-verb agreement is that subject and the verb must agree in number. Now let's go through various rules regarding the subject-verb agreement. You must be very clear with the different rules of subject-verb agreement, because when you talk, when you write something, there must be an agreement between, there must be a proper connection between the subject and the verb. So we'll go through the various rules regarding the subject-verb agreement. Let's take the first rule. The first rule is very simple, and the rule goes like this. If there is a singular subject, it has to be a singular verb. If it is a plural subject, it has to be a plural verb. Let's go through an example. The apple is good. The subject is the apple and the verb is. The verb is. So what is the connection? What is the agreement between subject and the verb? The apple is a singular subject. So what is the rule? When there is a singular subject, it has to be a singular verb. So in the first example, the apple is a singular subject. So we are using the singular verb called is. Take the next example. The apples are good. The subject is the apples. That is a plural subject. The verb is are. So what is the rule regarding the subject-verb agreement? When there is a plural subject, it has to be a plural verb. In the second example, the subject is plural, that is the apples. So we have to use the plural verb called are. This is the first rule regarding the subject-verb agreement. The rule is that if there is a singular subject, it has to be a singular verb. If there is a plural subject, it has to be a plural verb. Now let's move on to a second rule. When there are two singular subjects joined by and, it has to be a plural verb. Once again, let us go through the rule. When there are two singular subjects joined by and, it has to be a plural verb. I'll make it clear with an example here. Ayush and Sandeep are close friends. Once again, Ayush and Sandeep are close friends. What is the second rule? Two singular subjects. Come to the example now. What are the two singular subjects? Ayush and Sandeep. These are the two singular subjects joined by and. Go back to the example. Ayush is a singular subject. Sandeep is a singular subject joined by the word called and. What must be the verb? The verb must be plural. And what is the verb that is used in the particular sentence? That is are. So what is the example? Ayush and Sandeep are close friends. In this particular example, Ayush and Sandeep are two singular subjects joined by the word called and. So we are using the plural verb called are. We'll give one more example here. Anshika and her sister are sick. Here there are two singular subjects joined by the word called and. So we are using the plural verb called are. Anshika and her sister. These are the two singular subjects joined by the word called and. So we are using the plural verb called are. Anshika and her sister are sick. Now move on to the third rule regarding the subject-verb agreement. When there are two singular subjects preceded by each and every. Preceded means what comes before. Preceded by each and every, joined by and, it has to be a singular verb. So once again, two singular subjects preceded by each and every. Preceded means what comes before. Joined by and, it has to be a singular verb. Now come to the example. Each boy and each girl is talking in the class. Go back to the rule. Two singular subjects. Here there are two singular subjects. They are boy and girl. Preceded by. Preceded means I have already told you what comes before. Before the subject. Preceded by the word called each or every. So here we have taken the word called each. Each boy and each girl joined by and. So we are using the singular verb called is. So once again, two singular subjects preceded by each or every, joined by and, we are using the singular verb. I'll give one more example. Each man and each woman was at risk. Two singular subjects, man and woman, preceded by the word called each, joined by the word called and, we are using the singular verb. Now move on to the fourth rule regarding the subject-verb agreement. Two singular nouns joined by and refer to same person or thing. We are using the singular verb. So once again, two singular nouns joined by and referring to the same person or thing, we are using the singular verb. What does it mean? Now let's go through the example that is given here. The poet and author is coming. The poet and author is coming. Now go back to the rule. Two singular nouns. Two singular nouns are poet and author, joined by the word called and. The poet and author. So two singular nouns joined by the word called and, referring to the same person. Here these two nouns called poet and author do not refer to two different persons. In this particular example, the two singular nouns that are poet and author do not refer to different persons. These two nouns are referring to the same person. So we are using the singular verb. So the poet and author, these two nouns are referring to the same person. The poet and author refer to the same person. These two things, these two nouns called poet and author, they are not referring to two different persons. These two nouns are referring to the same person, so we are using the singular verb. I'll give one more example here. The player and dancer has come. Two nouns, two singular nouns, player and dancer, joined by the word called and these two nouns are referring to the same person and not different persons. So we have used the singular verb, that is has. The player and dancer has come. Now move on to the rule number 5. Two singular nouns joined by the word called and, preceded by definite article referring to different persons, we are using plural verb. So once again, two singular nouns joined by the word called and, preceded by definite article. And what is a definite article? That is the, refer to different persons. We are not referring to same persons, we are referring to different persons, so it has to be a plural verb. Let's go through an example. The poet and the author are coming. Two singular nouns are poet and author, joined by the word called and, preceded by the definite article, and the definite article is the, referring to different persons, we are using the plural verb. So my dear students, when there are two singular nouns preceded by definite article, it means that these two nouns are referring to different persons. When I say the poet and the author are coming, these two nouns are preceded by the definite article, so these two nouns are referring to different persons. These two are not the same persons. The poet and the author are different persons. They are not the same person. So we are using the plural verb. Give one more example. The player and the dancer have come. So two singular nouns preceded by the definite article called the, joined by the word called and. So we are using the plural verb because these two nouns are referring to different persons. I hope you are clear with the first 5 rules regarding the subject verb agreement. Kindly go through the notes once again. It must be clear for you. And we'll be continuing with the same topic, that is subject verb agreement, in the coming classes. So study well and stay safe. Thank you.